for context, this is our second Twitter Spaces, our first kind of fireside chat on Twitter Spaces. Usually they're in Discord, but thank you guys for joining us today. Please feel free to share out the room, tag your friends, and I'm so excited for this topic. It's my favorite topic in this whole space and in life. So I'm excited to talk to these people. Thank you so much.
Just want to add here that this is being recorded and we will have this on our YouTube channel later on. So if anyone is missing this or if you want to share this, we will be doing that later on tonight.
Awesome. So I think we have a few guests that might be coming in a little later, but I definitely wanted to kick this off with maybe just the guests we have that are joining us. If you guys don't mind, first of all, my name's Rob, Mr. Messer. I'm working with the Gauss team, helping run these spaces, and I kind of alluded to it a second ago. This is my favorite topic in the space. I think, especially now you're seeing it in a bear market, how important community is. Looking around, who's still here, when things aren't going so great, right? So I was onboarded into Web3 by an amazing community, and I've just have loved to put myself around people that want to see each other win, want to support each other, want to educate each other. And yeah, that's what this space is all about. And I can't wait to hear from some people that are in community type roles around Web3, different blockchains whatsoever. Just so excited. So if we don't mind going around, just a quick little intro on maybe the kind of role you're in, or how you just got into Web3 real quick, maybe 90-second to 2-minute intro, and then we'll jump into it. Amina, let's start with you.
Give me just 1 second.
No problem.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. I was taking a sip of a water. Anyways, I'm Amina, and I've been in the space for a while now, in various different communities, from PFPs to now I'm in sneaker, digital NFTs. I also have done a lot of work in the music and metaverse space, including Music NFT Women, as well as Web3 Boston and the Boston DAO, so local communities. Just wherever there's a demand, I kind of flow to it. And honestly, that's pretty much what I would say. I'm not super rigid in my ways of connecting. So in order to connect, I almost kind of see it as a network, and where there's a lot of need, it's almost as if I can kind of feel that need. And I guess it's just I've been forced to be a little bit more intuitive than I'm used to, and that is all I'm going to say. We can talk a little bit more after everyone else introduces themselves.
I love that. Thank you. Nat, let's jump over to you.
Can you guys hear me good? There we go. Yep, now it's going. All right. I am Lady Boss Nat, known in Discord as Lady Boss Nat. My first name is Natasha. A lot of people think it's Natalie, so I figured I'd go ahead and let everybody know it's Natasha.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yes. I came into this space I guess you could say I'm fairly new, but also been in a while, because you know how the crypto space goes. 1 month is like 2 years. But I've been in probably about 9-10 months now, and I do quite a bit of work around in the space. I am really everywhere. Everybody's always like, Lady Boss Nat's everywhere. Oh, you're here. I am everywhere. I do community management, moderating, couple different things like that in the space, or all around with different projects, and I'm just always available to help any way that I can. I have my own server as well that I got from a project that didn't make it, unfortunately, but the community wanted to stay together, so we stayed together, and here we are still together. And I've just been moving around and meeting everybody, and it's been wonderful in this space. I'm like everywhere, so I can't even think. But it's
That
I'll get into it a little bit more later on as well.
I appreciate that, especially considering you're everywhere. I appreciate you being here with us tonight. So
I appreciate you guys having me. I'm so
props
honored
to
to be here. Thank you. I'm happy I
oh,
was able to make it for sure.
all right, my man Keith down there, familiar face.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. No, man, definitely a pleasure to be able to be here this afternoon with you guys. Um, Definitely newer into this space. My 9 to 5 is being dental hygienist, but I do see a future, working maybe full-time crypto one day, and hopefully, community management is definitely a great opportunity. I do a little bit of some modding and just handling some Twitter accounts. But yeah, this is it's just a great opportunity for the ones that are able to get involved for sure.
I love it. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, most definitely,
And,
my man.
and Mr. Cow, I think Gannon, right?
Yeah, it's me. Do you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So, wow, I hear me so weird. I mean, I hate using my phone, to be honest. It's sad that Twitter Spaces have to be done on the phone.
Yeah, I think there's a large population that's kind of holding their breath, waiting for that to change.
Let's see. Let's see if Elon does it. Okay, so I go for the name by the name of Gannon, and basically I've been involved in many communities too, and in many DeFi projects. Basically, I started a lot with Tomb Forks, and it was very interesting. I think Tomb Forks have changed a lot, for example, and they're getting into something more sustainable right now. And right now, I'm looking into a lot of other DeFi projects. I like a lot also the new models that are being released, the ones that have like locked liquidity, basically with like node types, locked liquidity with LMS, all that kind of stuff. I am also looking a lot into mining. Like I started with a small miner, like a small rig, and I've been doing basically a lot of things on the crypto space. I've been trying everything and see what I like and see what I don't like. And for some reason, I ended up managing communities and being involved in many projects.
I love that. Is that because you ended up liking it? You just
Yeah. I mean,
front of
it
the
has.
house stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like more to be on the back scenes, and like I like to interact with the community, but I like more to make sure that everything is going well. Like all the structure is built correctly, everything is working like it should work, and then that's why I work with people like Natasha. That basically she loves talking with the community way more than I do.
Amazing. Well, thank you again. I can't say it enough. Thank you guys for being here. There's so many opportunities for your attention to be taken, and your time is precious, especially in this space. So I really can't thank you enough for being here as we're kind of getting our momentum of our spaces going. So I just wanted to. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Wait. Hello. Yes. I wasn't really planning to.
I know, but I wanted to be polite.
Sure, but like, for those who don't know me, I'm one of the, I guess, like video creators for Gauss. And if you go on the Gauss YouTube channel, that is me doing the videos. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep it short for now because everyone else here is really the star of today's show, so to say. But yeah, that's me.
You're a star in our eyes.
No, you are.
I'm gonna get us back on track though. I wanna start off. Community is a word that's thrown around, I think, too easily. Right? It's people really undervalue the word. So I wanted to ask everyone what, and feel free to jump in. Our space, my space is your space. So this is just kind of a fireside chat. We're all sitting around the fire. What does the word community mean to you? When you hear that word, like, what does it actually mean? Comma, what is a strong community?
I guess for me, I would say it means family, like a second family to me. That's what I think when I hear community. I think of a second family. Somebody, people that you have that's always going to be there for you. You're there for them, and that you just have each other's backs out here.
I love that, and I would love to hear, Nat, at some point during this, the kind of intricacies about you inheriting that server. That's like inheriting a family, and you said like it's kind of yours now, right? You took over, so at some point, I
Yeah,
don't know, now or later, I think that's, we don't hear about that all the time, and there's got to be a story there somewhere.
yeah. There's definitely there's a story there for sure. We can definitely get into that a little later if you wanted to. And we can definitely talk about it because I think it's a great story, especially the way that it came out. It wound up being really good for everybody.
Okay, so Natasha, I don't know. I think this is our first time meeting, and I don't really know your background, but you sound awesome, and I'd love to know more about what you have been involved in and where you are right now, a little bit more specifically.
Okay. I have. I'm new into crypto. About 8, 9 months into crypto. Maybe a little bit longer. My fiance was doing it, and I would watch him, and I'm like, what's that? And he was always on the computer, and I'm like, hey, pay attention to me. So I wound up jumping into it as well, and then it kind of just took off from there. But previous to that, I've done a lot of customer service work. Like serving, bartending. I worked at a distillery. I've worked in retail. I've been managers at phone stores, just different things like that. I've always just done anything to do with people. So I really just love people, and I love helping and them being happy. And when people are happy, I'm happy. So I've always done a lot of customer service work. So then I came into the space, and one of the projects that I had got into, which was Titan, this is how the server came about. Great community, and it was a great project and stuff. Don't really want to talk too bad about it because I don't know exactly what happened per se. As I guess it was a rogue dev, but I don't really know for sure 100% what everything was. But so we wound up. LC came in and was taking over Titan and making sure everything went smoothly. Like when it came to the rest of the funds, getting to the community and everything like that. So then once we got through that, everybody was like, "Well, what happens to the server?" And so that's when I we were all talking, and they decided that, well, let's keep the server. And I was like, "Yeah, can we keep it?" And then everybody was just after that. Um, like, let's have Nat take it over. And because I started working there, as soon as I got in there, I started working. They asked me to be a mod there, and then the community just really took to me after that, and I took to them, and I loved it, and it just grew ever since then. And now I'm everywhere else as well. I have people wanting to have me mod or just like be in the community or anything like that because I'm just super positive always. That's what I try to do, is just always be positive.
I love that, and yeah, that was going to be my first question. Why do you think they took to you? So positivity, and
Yes. And giving them a voice as well, because people want to be heard at the end of the day, and all it takes is a little bit of conversation. Especially when people are upset. Like we went through a really upsetting situation with everybody, Titan, and people losing their money. They lost lots and lots of money, and it was just a really unfortunate, sad situation. But we were able to be there for each other and together, and I didn't leave them, even though I didn't know what was going on too much either. I stuck with the community, and I'm still with the community, and it's just they just needed to be heard. And that's what it really comes down to. Is I think people just want to be heard, and they just want to have that conversation and know that somebody's there for them all the time. And that's me. I'm here for anybody at any time, 24/7. I'm just a ping or DM away, always and forever. And if anybody needs anything, even here, if you guys, I love people and I love being there for everybody. So if you guys, anybody ever needs anything, even if it's just a chat, it doesn't matter. I'm here.
That's amazing. Can we get some hearts? Can we get some love for that? I love that energy. And yeah, I mean, talk about building community. Like that's number one, care, right? Be there for people, and you'll have a community. You it sounds like you weren't even seeking it. It was just kind of there
Yeah,
because
it just happened.
just organically. Um,
Yes.
Amina, I wanted to kind of pivot to you. You said you kind of bounced around and you mentioned the woman in music.
Yes.
What about that particular community has you kind of drew you to it?
Oh, so we started Fifi and I. She's very active in the music NFT space. We started the community last year, when there was no community, pretty much. I mean, there were people who were involved, but people didn't have like that um, like foundation, or like the place where you could go and know that these are women and non-binary individuals who have a safe space to connect and share and amplify, and rather than give them a voice, we just kind of pass the mic, right? So I think that's been like really important. Just seeing how the music NFT space has evolved over time, and just seeing a lot of the success from, Latasha, for example. Like, she has been killing it. Like, she had like a video that sold for like 50K the very, first time she like put it out, and like she killed it. So there's just a lot of opportunity, and the space was very like open for new talent and like grassroots organizing. But like with a lot of the community building, I have to be honest, I've become a little bit jaded. And when you are good willing, like, people definitely take advantage of it. And I've been trying to kind of like set boundaries properly. And that's one part of community that I think is really important, is when you have community that is demanding to exist, there's going to be tension among the members. And one thing that people try to usually do with like tension is to push it down. But with me, it's like, let it happen, because that's how you form the boundaries. Like, that's how you form a community that's solid. So yeah, with the music NFT women, it's pretty much just organic growth on our own time. Like, we give as much as we can, and everyone else is welcome to do the same.
I'm sorry. Did you say are you on the team there? Are you a mod?
Oh,
Or
no. Like, I founded the group.
okay,
Uh,
gotcha.
yeah. But the
My
the
apologies.
no. I mean, we are getting to know each other, right? This is the perfect time. But with music NFT women, I really wish that we figured out a way to get more funding to it, just because it's such a great community. And that's just been one thing that has always been in the back of my mind. Like, how do you get funding for a community when people within that community want, like, to have their own kind of thing too? So I, I am at loss for words there, but I hope that was clear enough.
No, it makes total sense. And with what you're doing, and attracting artists. And it's funny, we were talking music and NFTs a few weeks ago, but I see some similarities to what we're doing here with Gauss. So essentially, for those that don't have context, Gauss is going to be a curated ecosystem that's going to attract brands and influencers and artists, musical and otherwise, to launch their projects on and build their communities in our ecosystem. So I feel like, with something like, Women in Music, and with what we're doing, there's a greater sense, there's a greater sense of responsibility to have a community that's going to be a blueprint for people that come on and build their own smaller communities on top of that. So I love where your head's at, because I just think, and like Nat was talking about, we just need to be good role models out there. And it's, time is people's most valuable asset, and people are spending their times in these communities, aka families, when they could be anywhere. So, Keith, you spend a lot of time here. I'm just curious, and I'm not trying to pump Gauss at all.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it about this community or any community, any Discord maybe, that attracts you, that makes you feel like, I want to be here, hang out in this community, network in this community, try to, get my building blocks under me to get a position in Web3 and through this community?
Yeah. So when we talk about the barrier of entrance, in crypto, it makes it so much easier, right? Because in the community, you can really find a clear goal. In traditional finance, there's not a chat for like the Apple or Facebook or Amazon stock that you can find on Fidelity, Vanguard, or Robinhood. But people can really find out what's going on with their funds that they have chosen to invest. In the chat, DMing the founders of the project. Usually, that barrier of interest to be able to talk with like a CEO is huge, you can just literally DM, them and just really just find out what is going on. I think that is beautiful, and they're willing to. For ones that are legit, they are willing to talk to you about what's going on and like how they want to, use your funds in the best way possible. And I think that's really amazing.
Gannon?
Hey, hello. Yeah, for me, the community is basically, it's a group where you belong. You can call it also like a family, like they said, which I agree. And yeah, it's power to the people, and it's people with the same mindset, with a common goal.
What have you found the common goal is through your
I
travels
mean,
in Web3? Like, what do people really want? I know there's the whole money thing,
yeah,
and
like
Nat touched
that's the
on the
most
connection.
important. Yeah, like that's the most important thing to be on. At the end of the day, like especially if you have a project behind, they want to make money, or at least they want to feel like their money it's going to have a value like long term. That for sure. But also, it's what I'm saying. It's a place to belong. It's a place where you can interact with people when maybe you're back from work and you're tired, but you have that group. You wanna chat with them a little bit, and then you can just do your life.
Anybody want to add to that? Money's the most important.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of communities forget that you can attract people, but what matters is that they stay and that they contribute. And people don't like maintain contribution, just out of the goodness of their heart sometimes. Like people are incentivized,
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, yeah, we're family, but you know what? Let there be an incentive. Let there be a reason for me to want to show up, like not just because you guys make me feel good, but because there's an incentive. Maybe like I know with like the Lazy Lions community, they have a rewards program for their holders, and their pride is strong. Like and every month, if you follow particular rules, like, or what have you, they get a particular kind of reward. Sometimes I think it's ETH. Sometimes it's like airdrops. Like it's just those things that like motivate capitalists, right? So let's be real.
I totally get that. But I'm thinking back to Nat's situation. Like, these people lost all their money, right? They had every reason to leave and say, forget this, but they wanted to stay. So my point is, and obviously I understand the arbitrage, the flip life. I believe me, I totally get that. But I'm gonna push back on, like, is money the most important thing? Nat, I would love for you to weigh on that because you experienced it firsthand.
Okay. Oh, there it goes. Um, to me, I don't think that money is the most important. I mean, yes, it plays a huge factor, but I don't think it's the most important. No. And I say that just because, like you know, I was in this community and they lost a lot of their money and they stayed around, um, and they're still around. And actually, we're in other, you know, projects and stuff together too. A lot of them, and they have stayed around in the server. It's, you know, a positive, safe place that they can come and they can get help with even stuff that has nothing to do with crypto or projects or anything like that. They just know that they have a safe, positive place that they can come all the time. So it's not always about money. It's sometimes just about having that security where you know that you have somebody there or people there that you need. If you need something like to talk about anything that's, you know, going on. So I don't think it's always just about money. For me anyway. And like what I've seen, I don't think it's just all about money.
I mean, from the perspective of building community, right? I'm just trying to think of.
Oh, can I say something on this as well?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
jump
add
in.
also later.
Oh yeah, no,
Please.
No,
Jump
no,
in.
go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Kyle. Appreciate it. No, but to go back on what Lady Boss Knight was saying, you know, it's also human connection. So, you know, surrounding yourself with people who really, you know, share a similar interest. That is very, very powerful. And especially when a community, you know, if there are developers that, you know, do go rogue or, you know, the management is bad, overcoming resistance when you go through a sad situation with other people, it does make those bonds stronger. So human interaction, especially when we're just coming out of a COVID time, it definitely it makes an impression on people to be able to have that human interaction with other people that have been going through the same situation as them for the past few months as they've been interacting in different servers.
Okay, nice. I mean, I agree. I agree with the COVID times. It was very crucial for building communities. It helped a lot because people felt like they were not having like enough human interaction, and it also helped to build a lot of communities. But what I meant with the money thing, it's basically that, for example, if you start a community, that's a protocol behind it. Like the common goal first is that all the investors make money. You know. Of course, this community, it can shift. For example, in the case of Lady Bosnat, her current community, it basically shift because now it's more like a group of investors that they can talk about a lot of other stuff and hang around, and they also can do like gaming nights, stuff like that. But that's what I meant with money. Basically, when you start a community basically around the protocol, like in that terms, normally it's the common goal is making money for all the people.
I just want to add in here too as well. I think in the crypto community, like a lot of it has to do with, I guess, so financial gains, but there are a lot of niche communities as well that are there to be excited about a project or an innovation that's being developed, not necessarily for financial gains. So I want to kind of bring this to like almost like a gaming or music community, like League of Legends or something like that. Like people aren't really there to make money. Well, some people are, to be honest, but there are huge communities on like Reddit, YouTube, Discord, just all talking about gaming, and they're never ever really going to make money off of it unless you're streamer, Twitch streamer, or whatever. But that's not really the point. But I think that communities in crypto, a lot has to do with, I guess, maybe some financial gains, but also building a project that's innovative and that could probably last a lifetime, which is really why I myself really like Gauss, because they're doing something a little bit different. But that's my 5 cents on this situation or on communities.
And just to go along with that, the ability to learn, and really just to see what's happening behind the scenes. I mean, we're such in a unique time. Web3 is so new that just being early can definitely benefit us all. Down the road, maybe in 10, 20 years, we have to see where things are going to go. But man, oh man, I mean, there are just so many new ideas that have just just been popping up, new chances to network with different people that you would have probably never have met. So when we talk about a community, it's awesome to be able to see people come together and share a common goal, but also where people can share their ideas and what they really want to do and how they want to innovate in this space.
to sustain a community, I think this is one of the challenging things. So, being able to sustain it in a way that will serve the purpose of like whatever the original or whatever the evolving goal ends up being is important. But once you change your expectation of what that community is, so for example, if you don't expect to like have a return on investment or whatever, if your expectation is just to connect and to gain knowledge or be friendly with people, like just expand your circles, I think that's a different expectation than if you're going into it with the expectation of having both or just having, being a flipper. But I have had experiences with like members of the community who said to me, um, I came into the project just to flip it, but then the fact that you reached out to me, the fact that like you connected with me, like made me want to stay. And so I think that is the challenge for most of the communities because a lot of the communities have just been very quiet, very dead. People aren't engaged. And so it's like what do you do when something like this happens? Like not everything is going to be just at that high that we had during the bull market. So that's my 2 cents or five or whatever.
Well, you guys are on fire. I love this. Between what you said, Keys, and Amina, it starts with the expectation put out by the team, by the founder. And yes, if you're getting onboarded in a bull market when all you had to do was pretty much have a pulse and a wallet and you made money. But if that's why you're in it, that's also the same reason that you're out of it now when things aren't going well. So the expectation, I think, is first and foremost. So in the heart of the conversation here, building community, it starts with the rhetoric from the team, right? Whether that's a cause or a mission that, like Alex was talking about, comma, yeah, we can make some money here too. Comma, there's some utility and some cool things, and the relationships are built throughout just organically. Um, you know, my wife is a mod and community manager in a boatload of projects on Solana, and the people that bought at the top, it just the toxicity that comes out of their mouth is unbelievable, and I feel so sorry for them because they're not seeing anything else. They're not seeing any other positive in the projects that they're in because first and foremost they were in for the bag, which is obviously with the turn of events much smaller across the board. So I'm vibing with you guys. I love it. And I see some people requesting up. I'm definitely going to take some questions in a little bit. I wanted to just to pose a kind of another question for the group. I love where we're headed here. So like, if you guys or girls, are starting a project, like, businesses have a mission statement, like how do we kind of articulate this to your community? Like, what would your mission statement for your community or an ideal avatar for your community? Like someone who X, Y, and Z. My community is full of blank.
I would say my community is full of positive energy, education. Someone's always there, willing to help somebody learn. Um, I had it and I just lost it. But yeah, I would say
No,
positivity and
you're doing awesome.
education for sure. 100% positivity and education and family. There's just so much love and positivity and just so many people just willing to give that hand to help people understand or like have that bridge to barrier where, new investors coming in and they don't, it's kind of tough when you are trying to figure out this wallet here, this there, that, and the other. And it's just nice to have people in the community that are willing to help those people in like not down them for asking questions or like, oh, you should know this. So it's just positivity, education, and love.
I love that. Love the vibes, Lady Boss Nat. Anybody else? Gannon, Keys, everyone, the gentleman.
Definitely education is a big one. Having community that is willing to learn, not just the the normal Degen mindset, of just I just want to get in and out, but having people that are okay, I really want to take a look at this project, really read the white paper, really understand what is going on here, really see what the mission statement is, and then from there, as things progress, still keep them interested with new ideas and new topics.
Yeah, I agree. Educating the communities is very important because at the end of the day, I know it's not only about money, but if you want to know what to do with your money, you have to be educated, or you will just get taken advantage by other people. And yeah, that's my 5 cents on everything the other one said.
I love it. Keith, I think you're going to make a fine community manager.
I appreciate you, bro.
I don't mean to shill Keith, but yeah, I like where your head's at, man. It's nice to hear your voice. It's always nice to chat with people in the Discord, but I love this format too. And I'll give you one even better because I see my friend Katie, teacher, in the audience, and a couple other V friends. So the way I was onboarded into Web3 was through a project called V Friends, and it was led with education. Step one, what is an NFT? Step two, this is how you set up a MetaMask. This is Ethereum, like from A to Z. And it was not about the investing. It was about the connections, and it was about being kind to each other. And that morphed into a real life event. So everything, the good vibes, the good juju, the kindness, the caring for each other, the community building that happened as we were talking, that Lady Boss was talking about earlier, just kind of became like a tornado of love and community and family. And when we had the opportunity through a real life event to meet each other, it was like magic. It was like we've known each other for years. And I'm looking at teacher. I don't mean to pick on you, but like to the point where there was a cool airdrop or a cool like in real life digital opportunity, and I missed out on it. And Katie down there just literally just mailed it to me. Like we just hooked up online, and she just mailed it to me. And because that's what that's what real community does, real family. So the reason I'm telling that story is because it started from the beginning. So when we're talking about building community, like you just need to have a vision of what you want your table full of. Do you want it full of people that are just looking for the next bag? Or do you want it full of people that are looking out for each other, people that are going to educate someone that's coming on, someone that's having a hard time, minting this, or they can't find this, or you know what I'm talking about. You know the things that, we're early enough that you guys know the things that people have trouble with. But yeah, I think the whole thing just needs to be flipped. I think everything is going to be the utility and the community, and money comes second. Investing comes second. I just think we're all so early that we just kind of have it twisted. But the long tail, how this is going to play out, I think it's going to be all of the things that we're talking about. And there's I don't know how many cents that was. I think that was 12. Yeah, so I want to just take a second to reset the space. Thank you guys so much. Gauss is a layer 1 blockchain ecosystem that is launching on November 12th, and it's a curated blockchain, that layer 1 blockchain that is going to house brands and influencers and artists to onboard their communities and launch projects in a safe space, so they can educate and feel comfortable onboarding their audiences and followers in a place that won't be full of scams and all of the nasty things. So thank you for supporting us. Thanks for being here. Please feel free to share out the space. And yeah, if anybody wants to come up and to the stage and ask a question, make a comment, chime in. Obviously, we have a lot of passion up here about this topic.
I just pinned one of my old tweets from like almost last year. It was a question that I still don't think is answered, but when we're talking about money and like the markets and investors, um, what is the difference between a brand and a community? And I think as you go through all of the comments below, you notice that it's like connection. It's like the relationships. It's the that's what sustains a community versus if you're, just a brand, there's a particular message that's it. Like, you're performing for an audience. You're not engaging with the members of the community.
I love that. Thank you for picking that up. It's a great question. Great thoughts to ponder. Yeah, I mean, I always thought of a brand as how something makes you feel like, and a community is I think the people associated with that, the people that are part of that are going to help you feel that way. I don't know. It's a great question to ask anybody. Not all at once, though. Keep it down.
I can kind of help break the silence.
I like a good long awkward silence. But thank you, Keith.
It's needed. It's needed. But like a brand like Pepsi, Apple, Harley Davidson, Pizza Hut, these are companies that have been able to be able to get to a position where you just see their logo and then boom, you already know what that company is about, right? But a community is just it's a place where people can just come together and really just learn. I mean, because we are so early, in this Web3 space, and it's going to be awesome. And in a few years, when we're talking about where things are at then, So yeah, community is where a place where people can just come together.
Hi, this is Annie.
I love it.
Yeah, hi, this is Annie with Ilona Freak. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Annie. Thanks for jumping up.
Yeah, I just wanted to just chime in there. So for me, a brand is a promise and community is engagement or how you extract that promise.
Well said.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm trying to. I always like to think of either a use case or a metaphor or a real life situation. So let's pick a arbitrary brand like Nike. Like what is the promise of Nike?
Okay, so I'm just talking from my own personal experience here. Okay, so for Nike, I think their brand says, "Oh, just do it." So Nike, the promise is, if you buy their product or if you engage, they will help you accelerate your goals. So do you want to run? They infuse a sort of execution element into your life, so just do it really implies motion, movement, action, activity. And so when you go and you buy a Nike product, in your mind, you're thinking, okay, if I get this product, it will accelerate whatever it is I'm trying to achieve. I'll become an athlete. I'll become fit. I'll become all these different things. And so when you're engaging with other folks in that community, you guys are all buying into the promise of just being able to do something. You're buying into the promise of being able to activate your goals, activate your objectives, that higher level goal that Nike tells you that you will be able to do if you purchase any of their products or if you engage with them through any of their mediums. So that's how I think of it, but very open to hearing other people's feedback.
No, I like that. I like that. And I played sports, so I can kind of the community side of Nike. I would say, I did fencing and also I did basketball. And, for when we were playing basketball, he's like, "Hey man, what kind of kicks you got on? Do you got the Jordans on? You got the Kyries, or do you have the KDs?" And then that would bring on more conversation. So when you see a person with that logo or with that brand, then it's easy to talk about aspects of what that brand represents to them. And shoes is a very 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 popular community base. Sneaker reshelling is huge. So that is a huge community for Nike for sure. For sure.
And just to add to what you're saying, that's why when it comes to shoes or even athletic gear, they tend to get athletes and then you see people really run out there and buy a Kobe branded pair of shoes or a Michael Jordan branded pair of shorts or, athletic gear or whatever, because in their minds, when they buy that gear, it will allow them at least for 30 seconds or for 60 seconds or however long they're exercising or whatever it is they're doing to become a Michael Jordan. That higher level goal or aspiration to become a Kobe to them is achieved when they get that pair of footwear and they do whatever it is that they want to do, be it on the basketball court or just going for a walk in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mike, go ahead. Oh.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say you hit the nail right on the head on that. Yeah, I know. When a girl gets like a new purse, or especially I used to like sneakers a lot. Be like a sneakerhead. When you get that when you get some new shoes, the feeling that you get from repping that brand, if it's a brand that you really like, you can't really put a price tag on that. If it's something that you really, really do enjoy, and that helps you to be able to talk to other people that enjoy the same aspects. So what you said is on par for sure.
Well, I wanted to mention only there's another big difference. Basically, communities are way more transparent than brands, which is obvious. And the other thing, it's basically to belong to a community, you don't really need to purchase anything, And with a brand, psychologically, it's different. You have to basically purchase things from the brand. So yeah, that would be like a big difference too. And that even if it's, for example, like a community that they could be, for example, on the crypto space, it could be like a project that you're investing or a project you're learning from. But yeah, you don't even need to invest. You can just be part of the community and keep yourself growing.
Yeah, well said. And Andy, thank you for coming up and sharing that. I think you articulated what I was trying to say much better with that example. Nike is it's the emotion behind what that represents. The feeling that you get when you put on those dry fit shorts or the Jordan shoes. What the consumer feels and envisions about that quote unquote promise over like what it's actually going to do, I think is so much more powerful. And we're kind of even seeing that with all crypto projects, right? With all these PFPs, like when you are scrolling through your Twitter feed and you see a Bored Ape or a Punk or a VFriend or whatever, fill in the blank, you immediately have some kind of, if you're in the space, like if you kind of know what's going on, you kind of immediately have some kind of feeling about that person because of the branding and the community behind it. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Alex, is there any brand that makes you feel a certain way?
Yeah, there's a lot, but I guess in my definition, a community is what upholds the brand, so to say. So if a brand is a certain image or like what you guys were saying before, how it holds a certain power or makes you feel a certain type of way, it's basically a vibe, and really a community is what upholds that. For example, where Yeezys or like Kanye West, he was really authoritative figure and he was really prominent in the music community. But over time, if you guys are keeping up with the news, he has gone a certain type of way, so to say. But Kanye still has a really big community that's trying to uphold his brand, his image as, Yeezy or Ye or whatever you call it. But yeah, in terms of like what really speaks to me as a brand, I don't know. I can't really put a finger on one particular brand that really says this is how I feel or this is the type of way that I'm feeling. But that's just me.
Appreciate it. Well said. Well said. Can you guys hear me? I think
No, you're good. You're good.
okay. I got a call there. I love this. I think it's so important. I just think it's so important to start with community. Like so many people, the reason why so many projects are ghost towns now is because there was no real community. The reason why people are dumping tens or if not hundreds of thousands of dollars into projects and not selling is because there's no community. Like it's just vital. It's vital.
Actually, I just want to jump in here, and I actually have a
Yeah.
question for like the guests over here as well. We were talking a lot about building community, but what would break a community? Like, what is something that you shouldn't do within a community that would eventually make it, turn it around, make it a downfall, so to say?
I would definitely say if the goal has changed, to let the people who have invested or been a part of the community, to let them know first. Got to keep the mods informed, and it really it stems from good leadership. So if you have good leaders in charge, doing their due diligence on their part, it will trickle down into the moderators. All right, but just making sure the clear goal is set from the beginning, and if things change, letting people know in a proper amount of time. I would say for sure.
I agree with everything you said. Yeah, definitely communication is such a huge thing when it comes to that. You have to communicate with your community. That's what I would say is communication for sure. You definitely have to communicate and not ghost them. When something is going to change, just like you said, let them know in a good amount of time.
Yeah, 100%. Being dishonest or doing things poorly, it's what will destroy the community.
Transparency. I just we had I think it was a tweet or retweet on this Gauss account today, and it was just a reminder. What happens on the chain stays on the chain. It's all transparent, right? So like you're not going to trick anyone for too long in this world. So you might as well. The bad actors are going to get sucked out. So I love that. I think that's vital. Teacher 96.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you, Katie? Thanks so much for coming.
I'm happy to come. I want to share. I love community. I'm in a lot of different communities. Right now, I'm currently modding 4 Discords, so I'm pretty heavily involved in the communities. But absolutely, I loved all the ideas people were talking about. You have to keep in constant communication. You have to make sure that not too much time goes by before you hear nothing, because sometimes people lose interest very quickly. Attention is like the number one commodity right now. So keeping people's attention to me is really, really important. But I loved how you referenced VFriends and how we all started together, and we're such a tight knit community, and you can reach out at any point, and there's so many people who are willing to help. But just as an aside, as far as community goes, I personally love meeting these people in our communities in real life, because I think that adds an element to your community that's so important. So I think there's a lot of different ideas of when you have a community, because there are people who don't participate, which is fine. You don't have to always participate, but as long as you're in it at some point, and give your thoughts and participate in some little way. Like I said, you'll have people who will talk all the time. You'll have people who won't, but just starting with the base community and building, it's a slow burn, I guess is what I'm saying. So just stick with it, be patient. But I love my communities that I'm in. This has been such a wonderful experience for me in NFTs and Web3. And I see lots of familiar faces in here. So hi to all my friends.
Amazing. I didn't realize you were really that deep and widespread. Are you able to tell us where you are, where we can find you in the Discords?
Sure. So I am I moderate in the VDAO, and I moderate in VectorBots, and I'm on the team at MetaMotors, and I just picked up Pixely. I'm a moderator in Pixely, which is a new up and coming marketplace for artists. So I'm pretty busy.
Amazing. Well, and that's amazing, but I'm not surprised because, you know, like Lady Boss Nat was saying early on, like people are just going to gravitate towards people that make them feel good. Like if you're nice, like there's no one that can't make it in Web3. Like a lot of people, and I was one of them. Like I want to make it in Web3. I want a Web3 job. Just be a nice person. Like find the community that you want to be in and just be nice. And like
Well,
eventually, like you're gonna have that little niche of community, and you're just gonna get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
Yes,
and
100%. That's exactly it. I agree because that's exactly how I'm everywhere that I'm at. I'm in, oh, let's see, quite a few. I work for quite a few. Yeah, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, probably about anywhere between four to six, or maybe even more. I might be missing a couple, but some of it's like volunteer, but I'm in a lot of communities, and I'm big in a lot of those communities as well. And it's just being that person that's positive and communicating and just being a good person all around and honest and trustworthy, and that goes a long way, especially when you're communicating with people in the space. That's what it takes, really, is just being that person, being there, talking to them, communicating with them, interacting with them, giving them that attention, teaching them, helping them learn, and things like that. And that'll take you a long way.
that's
And
always been my number one as well. And you and I have talked because now we're both former teachers who are trying to work at Web3, and we've talked about this a lot. Be friendly, be kind. There's nothing wrong with being kind to people. Nobody ever regretted being kind to someone, but that's really the base of building your community.
Totally.
and oh, my bad.
No, hop in there.
No, I was going to say also just being genuine, just being a genuine person, because, enthusiasm is one of those things that it can definitely break a barrier, break the phone barrier. People can tell when you're genuine, people can tell when you're enthusiastic about the community that you're in. So if you have those two aspects, it will just take you a very long way in this space for sure.
So I'm keeping notes here. So far, if the question is how do you build a strong community, the list is very simple and very short. Be kind, be genuine, be trustworthy. That's a secret sauce.
Yes.
Be
Uh,
patient. Be patient is also put that in there as well.
yes, because we know if you're someone that interacts with people that come in and out of discords that might not be so uh, as friendly as you, or you're answering tickets, that takes a patient pig sometimes, right?
Right.
It absolutely does.
Designer Suzanne, thanks for coming up.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Nat.
Fantastic.
So I guess my 2 cents here are that um, what is often forgotten by a lot of people who come to these crypto Discord hangouts, all the different tokens and projects and so forth, is that this is still a very new space. And yes, there are people who have been into crypto for years and years, and they know it all, or they think they know it all. And then you have the brand new people, right? Like myself. um, I'm approaching 50 years of age. I've been in crypto less than a year now, and sometimes us newbies, we can get so intimidated by all these know-it-alls in the discords who just know everything. And then you get like this belittling tone sometimes, and it goes back to, okay, make sure that you're a kind person. And then other times also observe that there are so many different people around the globe, coming from different backgrounds and cultures, and not everybody speaks English as their first language. There oftentimes is somewhat miscommunication due to translation issues, or cultural issues. And I think a lot of people just forget that that we are all from different places, with different backgrounds, with different ages, with different experiences in the space. And it definitely goes back to being a kind person, being understanding, and realizing, oh, this person isn't really fighting. They're just having a problem really getting their point across because of language barriers, for example, you know?
It's a super good point, and it's just another testament to how much smaller
That
the world is getting.
that was a very, very well said question. Oh,
You have,
I just want to add in here. Oh, sorry.
no, I wasn't sure. Was that did you want to ask a question or?
I think he was just commenting. He appreciated your
Oh,
comment,
gotcha,
Suzanne.
gotcha.
and I would say on top of that is and that's where it's keeping the moderators informed
I
because
think he
yes,
meant yeah,
because when
exactly.
keeping a
So what it boils, like just to add what you said, basically it boils down. Okay.
Go ahead,
Well,
Keith.
well,
sorry about that. I think it's the delay, but no, but definitely that just comes down to keeping the moderators informed. Uh, it is not a bad practice to have classes for moderators to make sure that they are on par, to make sure that they make the community look good in all instances, because you don't want those people coming in and they're really they're excited about the project, they want to know more, they want to learn more, and then they just get shot down. Either question gets shot down or they feel like they are being belittled. So talking to the moderators and letting them know that they need to set the standard in the Discord chat, that is definitely very, very important. Because I mean, it's that's how you're going to be attracting people, and it's kind of a customer service job.
Right.
Absolutely, and it starts with going back to a few minutes ago. It starts with the founder. It starts with that founding team, and it all just trickles down from there. Alex, I know you got cut off. Alex, then Sean, and then back to you, Gannon.
Oh, sorry. You pretty much said exactly what I wanted to say. A lot of communities has to do with culture, and cultures really stems from leadership from up top. I've seen a lot of different crypto communities, and if you want to take, let's say, this is not crypto related, but Wall Street bets, they have a really interesting culture, and that really stems from the leaders within the community, the apes or whatever you call it. And sometimes you could say that they are a little bit toxic in the ways that they talk, but that really stems from the top. But yeah, I think a lot of people or different communities, mods, need to learn empathy and how to relate to different people in order to get the point across. Because yes, everyone comes from different points of their lives into this community. And shout out to was it designer that was speaking before? Sorry, designer Suzanne, who's coming into like approaching 50. Like we don't have like too many people, well, that I don't know of that are in that space at that age. But shout out to you, and like that's really cool. And I really hope that more communities follow on the path of empathy and being more genuine when they're communicating back to the people.
Oh, right. Thanks. Yeah, maybe another point that I should bring up is also that crypto, from what I can tell, um, has also up until this point been very dominated by men. You know, you come into these DGen play Discord spaces, and it's all very outspoken when it comes about um, women's body parts, etc. Now I'm a big girl, I'm pretty liberal when it comes to that, but again, not very setting the stage or the tone for welcoming in more women, who then feel intimidated. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, we're already, as growing up as young girls, have to put up with all kinds of catcalling and stuff, and then you come into this new space, and you know, it's not always very welcoming in that respect either. But again, I mean, I'm a big girl. I can stand my own ground, and I can put somebody in that place if I need to, and I can overlook some things. But you know, that's something that maybe some people also need to start remembering. I mean, if you're not going to walk around in real life, you know, saying X, Y, and Z, then maybe with the crypto world growing and more people are actually entering, we have to remember, okay, it's maybe time to shape up a little bit in that area as well.
That's a really good point. And, you know, with that, we're so blessed to be able to choose our tribe, right? Like we could be anywhere right now. There's a trillion spaces going on right at this exact moment. So yes, there's always going to be that going on, but just find your tribe, find the people and the communities that, you know, exemplify all of the things that we've been talking about for the last hour and 11 minutes, and stick with those people. And you know, with that said, I just want, you know, if everyone took 40 seconds right now and just followed everyone in here. I haven't heard, you know, I've heard nothing but kindness and great thoughts. So like, you know, we fill our feed with the people that we want to follow and see. So I highly recommend everyone just throw a couple follows. Let's support each other. Let's, you know, let's be in there and fill our feeds with the kinds of people that we want to be around. Right. So,
just want to speak on what Suzanne was saying, how it is a pretty male dominant space within crypto. And I guess catcalling and more, how do you say it, negative male culture? I forgot the exact word for that, but that really stems from the whole world, and the whole world needs to solve that kind of thing. And that happens to trickle down into crypto communities. And yes, it's a pretty male dominant space, but like even this space, for example, there's a lot more females than I've seen in a lot of different communities so far. So shout out to all the ladies here, I guess. And this is still a developing and growing space so far.
And shout out to the host who organized this, because the host was also very thoughtful in putting a nicely balanced panel together. So appreciate you.
oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't even, yeah, thank you. I'll leave it at that. But it doesn't even cross my mind. You know, I kind of have my own little internal system for looking at people, reading about what they're about, seeing who they associate with. You know, and I just don't really judge on those things. And that maybe that's just me. But Sean, are you with us, my friend? You've been super patient. Sean Clark. Sean going once. Maybe we lost Sean.
You're muted, Sean.
Hey, how is everybody?
There he is.
Hey, just before I jump on, what a beautiful space and what an amazing conversation that I've been lucky enough to jump into. Sorry, I'm just reversing the car, and nobody's patient. What everyone's talking about, a shout out to Lady Boss Nat for making me aware of this space. And it is a very much male-dominated culture, unfortunately, but I think that's changing here. And I think one of the biggest things we can do as being part of the community is set rules of engagement so people understand what's accepted and what's not. Because what was brought up earlier is there are plenty of different, like we're all coming from all over the world. I'm here in Australia, probably a lot of you are over there in America and stuff, and we have very different cultures and way of interacting, and there can be language barriers and stuff. And going forward, if we just let people know what this community stands for, what's acceptable, what isn't, and then people know how to be able to engage in a fair way, that's holistic, you know, for everyone in the space. And then somebody else brought out like training for mods as well. And, you know, part of the founding team of an NFT project and stuff, and you'd always get that FUD, but we'd have a lot of standard responses. So the whole team, all the moderators, all the OGs were on the same page, giving people the same answer. Because I do find you get those keyboard warrior type of people, and they'll just ask the same question but to different people looking for different responses, and then they'll use that to be able to move their agenda, whether it's just to cause discord or disharmony within the group. But I think, you know, having these spaces and getting everyone together who is so positive and upbeat and realizes that, you know, Web3 is such an amazing opportunity for all of us. And, you know, there is tribalism within each, you know, different group or community and stuff, but also to allow everyone to be inclusive of other projects, not necessarily shilling another project in your Discord or your Twitter. I don't mean that, but just know there are other things out there, and it's not just us versus them. It's a rising tide lifts all ships, and together it's everyone in the space. It's going to allow it to transform into what we're all here for.
I love that. And thank you for joining us, Sean. Hopefully you're parked in a nice, safe spot in your car now, so you can concentrate.
I've got hands-free.
So yeah, just to kind of tie it together. So you know, I'm hosting this on behalf in tandem with Gauss, which is a curated blockchain with a curated blockchain with a thorough vetting system, right? So all of the things that we're talking about here are the components, the ingredients. I'm just going to mute you, Keith, real quick. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
All the ingredients for the
thank you.
For the Gauss.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, so you know, all the things that we're talking about are the kinds of projects and people that we want to attract here. You know, this ecosystem is launching November 12th. We're super excited about it. There's a fantastic community that you know, shows a lot of the things that you know we've been talking about here. But you know, as I alluded to earlier in the space, you know, we have an extra sense of responsibility because we want to show these people that are just kind of onboarding not only themselves but their existing audiences into Web3 and kind of showing them how it's done. You know, we're providing the safe environment. You know, there's going to be no, you know, fake tokens, scam tokens because of this vetting process. But a lot of the things that we can't control, like, you know, what the founder is going to say to his mods, right? How to handle this, you know, elicit kindness and empathy, all of those things we want to, you know, just exemplify in our own community. So thank you guys for helping us do that here. And hopefully, you know, we see you soon and down the road to keep on showing this message, because as Suzanne was saying, you know, people are coming. You know, we say all the time how early we are, and people, no matter the age, no matter the location of where they are, they're coming, and they need the right message, right? They need to hear from the good actors and not the bad. I love this conversation. Anybody else want to jump in? Questions, comments, thoughts as we kind of head towards the end of this?
I just wanted to apologize. I think I interrupted someone. I had some delay between the PC and the phone. That's all.
You're good, brother. Did you have anything, Gannon?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that what they said before about people being from all the places, it's true. And at the end of the day, we're like all human beings, and we just want to be treated correctly. That's all.
Exactly. And with the PFPs and avatars, I think that's forgotten. Someone mentioned keyboard warrior, and it's, you know, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yep, it definitely is. That's where the patience comes in, because you don't know who's behind that PFP, or you know, you don't know who's behind there, and you don't know if they're having a language barrier, and just not quite understanding or not able to communicate exactly. So that's where that patience comes in. So, you really have to have that patience so you can get to what they're trying to get across to you. You have to have that patience. And then, just all of us working together, like teamwork does make the dream work. That's one of my favorite quotes, as well as a
Indeed.
positive mind, positive results. Teamwork makes the dream work. We all have to come together, and we are here in Web3 and super early, and it's a great thing for everybody. And so we want to let everybody know it's a great thing. And so we have to come together in order for this to work for all of us.
Yeah, patience is very important. Like I've seen some communities, I don't want to mention them, but basically like the higher ups were telling people that if people were quote quote fighting, they'll just have to ban them straightly. That's a very poor approach.
Yes, very poor, because you don't know, like we were saying, they maybe just have that language barrier and is not getting across what exactly they are trying
Yeah.
to say. So that's why that patience needs to be there when you're communicating.
Yeah, and
100%.
if you feel like there's being like a disruption, you just take it into a private messaging and you help them there. It's no problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think, and we can't say this enough. You have the freedom to surround yourself with people that are going to pick you up or bring you down, whatever you're into, right? If you're into getting the connections, like we talked about, if you're into just the flip life and wanting to make a bag, you're going to make the choice of who you want to do whatever it is you want to do with. So it's a very interesting time to have that choice and to just be kind of navigating this new ecosystem in Web3 with all these kind of changing rules and different ways of life and communicating and building community and family. But yeah, like Nat alluded to, like Teacher, like so many, community does turn into family, like we mentioned. And, one of the guests that was going to be on today, he wrote me a message and he was like, I'm sorry, I had a death in the family. I can't make it. And, for anyone that's like, terrible. I'm so sorry. But like to have him in my community, to call him a friend, it just hit on a whole different level. It was like, fuck, like he lost someone that cares about him that he cares about, and I care about him. So it just hit on a entirely different level because we have that strong community bond. So I just want to, as we kind of start to close out here, I definitely want to stay for anyone that has feedback, questions, or wants to continue this for a few minutes. But I just want to kind of reiterate, like, we have the choice of who we spend our time with. And it's easy to just leave that server, to hit unfollow, to sell that NFT. It's super easy. Alex, this is when I go to you.
Yeah, just want to add, just at near the end of the conversation, like this whole talk with everyone here, this is what building a community is. Like half the people here I never met and never talked to, and it's really cool to have everyone in a space, Twitter Spaces. I wish they would improve the format a little bit better, but it's very fantastic to have everyone here to just talk about this certain type of topics or different type of topics in the future. So, everyone here, thank you so much. This is my own closing remarks. If anyone wants to jump on and say a few words, that'd be great. But if not, this whole conversation will be up on YouTube, and we'll definitely have this recording set up for the future. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Amazing. Yeah. So again, no one in here had a negative vibe. So definitely follow. Let's get some positive people in your ecosystem. Please give Gauss a follow. We're up to really incredible things. Our founder, Gary, down there, GPJ, and Lauren, and a lot of people from the team are really creating something special. So it's like we said, we're launching November 12th. Super exciting stuff. our initial NFT drop is out. Just so much great stuff and so much good community out there in a time where people are just kind of talking about how the market's down. So, find your tribe and make the best of it.
Yeah, I love exactly everything that you said. So, without further ado, I think we can probably close this up then.
Yeah, I just want to again thank Amina, Nats, Gannon, Keese, and all of our guests, and then Katie and Suzanne and everyone, and Sean and everyone that came up to share. We really appreciate it, and hope to talk to you guys soon.
Thank you so much. This was so great. I love this. I loved every minute of it. Definitely loved it. And thank you so much for reaching out and having me come up and speak with you guys and check you guys out. I love it. I love everything that you got going on. And I can't wait to see more and come in, join more Twitter spaces with you guys.
Yes, we're happy to have you. All right, guys. Thank you. I am going to close the space, and I wish everyone the best. Oh, Amina, I see your hand.
Oh, I was just waving. Bye.
Okay.